I'm sure you want to hear all their stories. So we've got Mike Reefman here. Give him a round of applause. Thanks for coming tonight and being first cab off the rank. And so Mike, a little bit about you. Let's kick it off from the very start. You started riding it at 3 years old. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right. I started, Dad raced bikes and all that sort of stuff, so he got me into bikes at 3 years old. It was a little Amigo 50 with a sidecar on it, and one day the sidecar wheel fell off, so he said, "You'll have to ride it solo." So rightio. So he ran beside me for a little bit on the first run, and then that was it. I was right from there. And then obviously I wanted to start doing jumps and stuff like that because that's what I love doing. So he said, "We'll get you into a motocross club," but he wanted me to get better before I went to a motocross club. So he said, "We'll go to the local paddock down the road, we'll mark out a track, and once you get to a certain lap time, we'll put you in the motocross club." And of course I wanted to do jumps, so I determined to get to this motocross club. And then Dad wanted me to use the front brake because I wasn't using the front brake, so he said, "I'll show you how to do it." So he goes down the track in front of me and grabs the front brake, washes the front out, down he goes, and he goes, "No, not like that." Right, so comes up, has another go, same thing, down he went again. 3 times in a row he crashed doing it, and he got up and he just said, "You know what I mean? So just work on that." I said, "Okay, no worries."
Yeah, wow. So starting at 3 years old, my, how things have changed now. So yeah, you started out with that, and then obviously, joined a motocross club. That's where you obviously wanted to go with you said jumps and things like that. So tell us, how did you go there once you started?
Started in like 10 and under and things like that, and then by the age of 12 I won a Victorian championship. That was at Shepparton. That was like 3 heat races into 3 semi-finals into 3 finals, so it was pretty big, a lot of riders. I went into that and then progressed through the years. I think I raced against local guys like Stephen Andrews and that at the Geelong club and stuff like that. So when I was 14, raced in the A grade class, which was like an open age group. So I was racing against guys back then that were driving themselves to the track, and I was like 13 years old, and these guys are 18, and I'm like, "Geez, have a look at the size of these guys."
Yeah.
And they're racing 80s, that's just what we did back then. And I think in A grade 80s I won the first 7 major meetings in a row. And I'd still look at the program and see Stephen Andrews, Shane Milburn, all these guys and go, "Oh, I'll probably get 4th, I reckon." And Dad would just go, "Will you stop looking at who's in the race and just go out and race?"
Yeah.
And I won a few of those and still thought I wasn't as good as those guys. So it's funny how it goes.
It is, yeah. Never underestimate yourself, hey?
Yeah.
So, and what area did you say you grew up in? Was that Shepparton? Is that where you grew up?
No, so I grew up in Fenchurch Gully.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so grew up there. So no tracks or anything like that.
No.
So to get to tracks, and it was only a weekend thing. That was it.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the young guys I did race against back then, they had like their own tracks and things. So
yeah, that's why when you mentioned Shepparton, that's why I thought I'd ask. Did you grow up on a farm? And maybe that's where
I
you
didn't have any
off.
of that. So it was just weekend stuff. Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah. All right, and then so obviously you won a few races within that, and within the motocross clubs, and then. Did you know at that point that you were going to keep going up that higher level? Was that the plan, or?
Not really a plan. I just loved racing. I loved bikes. I loved doing jumps and things like that. So it was just a passion that I would do anything to go riding. Like if I got to the local club at Waverley, it was, and they were open from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So I'd be there at 10 to 12 with all my gear on, ready to go, and as soon as they gave the green flag, I was off, and the only time I come in is when I ran out of fuel, and put more fuel in the bike, straight back out.
Yeah, wow.
Because I just didn't want to waste any time. I was like, I've only got 3 hours or 4 hours, I need to keep going. I can't stop.
But sometimes that passion really does show early when you see people and kids, especially when they've got that locked in their head that that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a sign.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you're right.
So you won a championship at 17?
So went to, by that time I got onto 252 strokes, which was, back then was the premier class. It's 450 now, but it was 252 stroke back then. And won the A-grade Gippsland Centre Championship, which I was pretty happy with at 17. And a friend of mine talked me into, well, not talked me into, but he said, you know, if you're going to race next year, you need to get the new model and all that stuff. So I had a 87 model CR125, CR250. And he said, you have to get the new model for next year and all that. Okay, yeah. So conned me into it. And my mum and dad had split up at that time when I was 17. So where we were living was just in a unit which had really no garage on it for security. And my friend that was talking me into it said, just keep the bike at my place and we'll be fine, you know. And I'm like, okay. So I was an apprentice carpenter, which I think I was on about $250 a week or something like that. So it wasn't much. So I got a loan out for the bike, and I went and ran it in down at Frankston, and that was on the Saturday. And then Sunday morning, he rang me and said, your bike's been stolen. And I was just going.
And you're still paying it off as well.
Took 3 years to pay off the bike because I
didn't have insurance.
No insurance, anything like that. So that was a pretty devastating thing to happen. I was just turned 18, and it was going to be good because I got my car license. I could take myself to all the tracks. I could go riding, and unfortunately, that went missing, and so that took me 3 years to pay off the bike, and then got back into racing when I was 21, and then I went back to B grade because I was A grade then. I went back to B grade because when you don't race for a couple of years, they put you back a class.
Yep.
So I won the B grade 250 title in 91, and then went back to A grade. And then, things started getting pretty serious from there. So,
so you didn't ride at all in that time frame when your bike was stolen, or?
No, not at all.
Had to come back and then win.
I just had to keep working as an apprentice carpenter and pay off that loan, and then try and do what I could. And then the main goal was to get back into racing, but I just had to wait and just.
Yeah, but you didn't lose the passion. Did you finish your trade?
I did. Yeah,
you did. That's good.
So then, 93 was my. 92 I did fairly well in all the races, but 93 I decided to. I was qualified carpenter then by that time, so I decided I'm going to basically give up work for a year. I had no money whatsoever. I really didn't know how I was going to do it, but I'm just going, you know what, I'm going to do the Australian circuit, I'm going to do all the Australian motocross, supercross. I'm going to do everything I possibly can and give it my best shot, because I've always looked at, if I don't do it, I'll kick myself later for not doing it. So I gave it a red-hot shot. The Australian, I did it with a friend, Craig Rutherford, and we just travelled around, and it was up to us to, if we didn't win races or get prize money, we weren't going to the next race.
And how, with the prize money, did it pay quite well, or were you still living quite lean when you're on the road with your mate?
Yeah, no, it wasn't much. It was like, maybe $300 for a win, something like that, which didn't go very far. But luckily enough, we had some sponsors for tyres and things like that. But money, cash-wise, it was absolutely nothing. So we travelled every state in Australia. One of the rounds, was Queensland. One was Western Australia. We did it pretty tough. We were just sleeping in the van, not really any room, but we slept wherever we could. And yeah, we just had to get prize money everywhere we went just to keep going.
But you must have done it right, because like I said, if you were living off the prize money, you must have been quite successful. So what did you win when you were out there?
So I ended up, that year I ended up 7th in the Australian motocross titles. I got 8th in the Australian supercross titles. So I was pretty happy with that. I've been in top 10 in Australia, and then so I wanted to do, like I said, as much as I could. So I had to go at, what else did I do? Australian 500cc championships at Traralgon. I entered that on my 125, and I ended up 8th overall in the day. Out of, I think there was probably about 15 500s and the rest were 250s, and I was the only 125. But so I ended up 8th in that. So, and I just entered every race I could. I had a chance to go to New Zealand. They with the Australian Motocross Championships, I did quite well in that. So I got an invite to New Zealand, all expenses paid, which was great because I had no money. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to New Zealand.
Yeah, and that's so exciting. Your first time, I suppose, getting paid to travel somewhere. It's absolutely, and it's you would have been probably how old at this stage? You were still been in your early 20s.
Yeah, I was only 23, so it was still good. It was, and luckily enough at that time, my wife now, which was my girlfriend at the time, she was at home paying the rent, working and paying the rent. And I was travelling around Australia, over to New Zealand as well, which was pretty cool.
I bet that went down well, but you're still together, so
we're still together.
That's promising. She must be very understanding.
I probably owe her a fair bit, I'd say. But yeah, New Zealand was really good. I raced Supercross and motocross over there, which again was like a all expenses paid trip, which New Zealand Yamaha gave me a bike, and then just rode that while I was over there, and we had an absolute ball. But it was quite funny because when we went there, I'd never been overseas before, so we knew nothing about it. And we raced in Newcastle only 2 weeks before, so we stayed at a friend's place for 2 weeks, and we had to fly from Sydney to New Zealand. So we got to the airport about half an hour before the plane was going to leave. We'd never been overseas, so we had no idea. So we get there and we got 3 bikes in a van, we got all the gear, and we go in there and they said, "Are you going to Auckland, New Zealand?" We said, "Yeah." And they said, "They're waiting for you, your plane's boarded and you're ready to go." And we're like, "We got a van there with 3 bikes," and they said, "Don't worry about it, just park it there in the short-term car park, and that's all you can do, you have to go right now." So then we're thinking, oh shit, we're going to be, the parking is going to cost us a fortune. We're going for 2 weeks to New Zealand, and the car's in short term. And we're like, we're not going to be able to pay for that.
Worth more than the trip.
We're going to have a couple of grand parking fine,
Yeah.
So we go back, and I said to my mate, I've got an idea. There's a little boom gate just over there, and there's a guy sitting in his car, and he's just parked there. If I can go over and get him to park in there and get the ticket to come out, and then go back and I'll grab the ticket. And my mate's like, "That's not going to work." They're going to know our car's been here for all this time. And I'm like, "Okay, we'll just give it a shot. What's the worst can happen?" So I grabbed the ticket out, and then it was the old ones where you used to throw the coins in the booth, or you pay with a person at the booth. So we give her the ticket, and she goes, "That'll be 40 cents, thanks." And we just laughed all the way down the highway. Because we were sure we're going to pay about $2,000, and we didn't have any money, so what are we going to do? And it was just one of those funny moments that worked really well. So.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it was an amazing trip. So
we had a ball, and in '93, as I said, I did as much as I possibly could. I did the Fink Desert Race. That was there's a fair bit of a story to that, but I'll keep it short. But so Honda had no one to do the 125 class in the Fink Desert Race, and we'd just done the Australian Championships at Queensland, and I got 6th of that round. And they said, "Do you want to do the 125 class in the Fink Desert Race, and we'll rebuild your bike when you've done it, as long as you win." So and I'm like, well, I've never ever done a desert race, so I have no idea what I'm doing, and you know, if I don't win, you're not going to rebuild my bike, and so anyway, I said, all right, I'll do it. So Kylie and I were driving back from the Nationals at Queensland, and we got to Byron Bay, and I blew my van up going up a hill. Of course, I had no money, so I had to borrow some money to get a mechanic in Byron Bay to fix my car. It took 3 days to fix it. Then we had to drive from Byron Bay all the way home through the night, because 7 o'clock that next morning we had to jump in another van with some other people to drive to Alice Springs.
Oh wow, that's
to
a
do
lot
the
of driving.
think. And I was just like, I'm never going to make it.
Have you had moments where you were doubting, like, you know, your sanity at this point?
Oh yeah, like there was so many times when I thought, I just don't know how I'm going to get to the next one or do the next bit. But it was just I loved it, and I just wanted to do it so much that I'd do anything to do it, you know. So.
And so was Fink something that you dreamed of when you were younger? Because you said you'd never done a desert race, but was that something you looked at when you were younger and thought maybe one day I could do that?
Actually, never ever thought of doing it, and it was only that Honda wanted someone to do it and said, you know, would you do it? And I'm like, yeah, okay, but I don't really know.
Why not?
What I'm going to do. So
yeah, and how did you go?
Well, we stayed in a friend's place in Alice Springs. It was actually a guy I was racing with. His parents lived in Alice Springs. So when we got up there, so it's like a 19-hour drive or something to get up to Alice Springs. So we finally get up there, and we're having dinner, and then they said, we got to go and do registration tomorrow, and it's $500 entry fee. And I'm like, I haven't got $500. I'm like,
where's Honda?
I've just come all the way to Alice Springs. I haven't got $500. I'm not going to be able to race. So they said, don't worry, leave it with us. So the next day, they come back to me and they said, it's all right, we've got your entry paid. The local florist is paying your entry. So.
Wow. But isn't that good though? I mean, I love that. When people know that you've made such an effort to go to somewhere, and they can, you know, someone can step in and help out. Yeah. And, you know, that's terrific to hear. So how did you go once you got in?
Back then, it's a little bit different these days, but back then there was no prologue or anything like that. So being on a smaller capacity bike, a 125, you take off in the very last groups. And I think there was like 600 entries or something like that. So taking off very last, it's really dusty. It's really high speeds through the desert. And like I hadn't even pre-run the course, so I really had no idea where I was going or anything like that. So I just went as fast as I could, and so I got to Fink, and I know I passed a lot of guys, but I didn't know really how I went. And then they do a corrected time on the way back, and I was 13th fastest on the way there. So took off 13th fastest the next day, and then I think I passed one guy and ended up 12th outright on the 125. So I was pretty happy with that, because thanks.
Yeah, well done.
Like the fastest 500s back then, it was 500 two-strokes, and they were geared for 190 kilometres an hour, and I was geared for 140.
Yeah.
So there's a massive difference in speed. But I think I made up a lot of time in all the really rough whooped out sections and things like that. So, but yeah, I did it in 4 hours 31. It was 15 minutes slower on the way up than the fastest 500, and 15 minutes slower on the fastest 500 back. So yeah, I got 12th outright. Unfortunately, I didn't get 10th, which top 10 would have been really, really good. But,
yeah, it would have.
But 12th has stood, that 125 time, I think I won my class by 26 minutes. And that time stood for right up until only a few years ago.
Yeah, wow, well done.
I think the 254 stroke class.
Especially with the circumstances to get there, you've never ridden the track, you've never done any of that sort of racing before. That's impressive.
I crashed twice. I crashed once, but yeah, I thought I saw my fuel stop, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye. So when I buttoned off the power, it was real sandy, deep sand, and I just dove the front end, went straight over the handlebars.
Oh, wow.
And my fuel stop was right there. They picked me up and said, "You're right." I said, yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, well done. So they would have been pretty happy with that? with the bike?
Yeah, well, at least I got my bike rebuilt.
Yeah, that's good.
So, yeah, that was like new barrel, new piston and rings and all that sort of stuff, and I was pretty happy with that. So, actually, they actually put a new piston and rings at Fink while I was sleeping. They were working on the bike and put new piston and rings in it for the return trip, because generally the 125s don't make it. It's just too hard. Like, I was going down a lot of the straights top gear, and the bike was revving so hard that it was actually free revving. Like, it was past the point of actually pulling power anymore. It was just, I had to back it off every now and then because I'm like, I'm going to blow this thing up for sure. I'm not going to make it. But
or you didn't know how you were going to make it home if you
we
didn't get some winnings in a rebuilt bike.
yeah. And that was another one too. I think that paid $500 prize money, so that, helped out continuing to race.
Yeah.
All the other races I did through that year. It was a very busy year, travelling around Australia and doing all that stuff. And I still don't know how I did it, to be honest, with money. Like, I think if we had $100 to our name, we thought we were going pretty good.
Yep.
So
I like that. So you said it's $500 prize money, but it was $500 to enter.
Yeah,
Talk about you don't even break even.
Yeah, that's right. If you don't win, yeah.
Anyone else do motorsport here? We know we don't do it for the money.
Yeah, we do it for the love.
We do it for the love, definitely. So, no. So after that, what was your next plan? I mean, obviously it sounds like you were sort of winging it a little bit. Did you have a plan after that, or wherever the racing took you?
No plans as such. 93, I put in the biggest effort I could. Being top 10 in the Australian Motocross Series, that qualified me to race in the World 125 GP, which was a Western Australian Manjimup. MA actually give you a grant for that. I think they gave us $900 grant to do the race. So I thought, well, I've qualified for it, so I've definitely going to have to go and give that a shot and race against the world's best guys. So we went there. Kylie came over with me to that one. So I raced there, qualified 18th fastest, and some of those European guys, like they got some good setups. There's some big dollars in that stuff. They were from, obviously all around the world, and guys I'd looked in magazines at and going, I'm actually on the start line with these guys. Like, it was pretty surreal at the time, and. But yeah, the practice and everything went really good. And then we got to the race day and it absolutely poured with rain. And it was a big mud bath. And I thought, I'm going to have to get a good start at least. And so I actually got a really good start. I got out of the gate and I was halfway down the straight and there was no one beside me either side. And I actually looked around because I thought, I wonder if it was a false start. I wonder if the gate didn't drop properly or something like that, But then I looked beside me and they were right there. And so I come out of the corner, I think in 5th, and it was like one of the second straights I went on. And because it was really, really muddy and all that, one of the European guys went past me. And when he went past me, just before this really big jump, he just covered me in water and mud and things like that, and I couldn't see a thing. And I went off this jump. I was totally blind, and I didn't think to go for a tear off or anything like that. I was just sort of froze a bit. And when I landed on the side of the track in a big ditch, and I landed on the seat, and I compressed my spine, which gave me we didn't really know at the time, but bulged a disc in my back. So, and I kept going. And I was held 12th or something for quite a few laps, and then I hit a massive tractor tire on the side of the track as I tipped into a corner, and I broke my little finger. So I had the broken finger and then the back, and then by the time the second moto come around, I was in so much pain that I just couldn't continue. So it was pretty devastating because I put in a lot of effort to do well at it.
Yeah.
And ended up not being able to continue. So
prior to that, had you had many other injuries along the way? I mean, obviously what you do, that must be a big part of it, but that was obviously the thing that was most debilitating?
Yeah, look, many crashes.
Yeah.
Many crashes. Luckily enough, walked away from a lot of them. When I was 15, I actually did my knee. Again, back then, like 1985, they didn't really have many ideas about injuries and things like that, but I actually tore my ACL, and I basically tore it in half. And no one ever really did anything to it. They put me on crutches for 2 weeks and then said, you'll be fine.
Yeah, off you go.
Off you go. And from then on, it just used to collapse on me all the time.
Yeah.
So knee braces came in, which helped it a lot, but I still haven't got an ACL in it now.
Yeah, I
Just
can imagine.
never had it fixed, and I think the muscles just grew around it and helped it to sustain it.
Yeah. So once you obviously injured yourself with your back and things like that, did you keep racing, or did that force you to have a little bit of time off?
No, I kept racing. I actually didn't get my back fixed until I was like 42. Didn't realise that's what it was until I got to that stage. That in the end, I couldn't even sit down and eat dinner. So I'm like, have to get something done, and then they go and they go, yeah, you've got a bulging disc that's putting pressure on the nerve, and we'll have to fix it. So got that done, which was good. But until then, I just went to chiropractors all the time.
Yeah.
Just kept getting it worked on. So.
Yeah. So after that, what did you? Where did you head off to?
From '93, unfortunately, I thought I went fairly well, and I thought if I can land a factory ride or something like that, we can, I won't have to pay for everything myself and it'd be a lot easier. Doing all the things I did in New Zealand and everything else, I thought I'd have a good crack at it. But unfortunately, didn't land a factory ride with anyone, so had to buy another bike the next year and just kept racing. And luckily enough, I won a lot of Victorian titles and things like that. And I was never going to stop doing it, because I just loved it so much. So whatever it was going to cost, I was going to do. And if I didn't get a factory ride, well, I'll just keep going. So I kept going through the years until I got to like my round 35, and got to 35, and you kept racing all the A grade motocrosses, and 35 I was in the 450 A grade Victorian titles. I got second in that, so I was pretty happy at that age to still be competitive and
absolutely.
Still get second in the state. And then I thought, I was coaching a lot of young kids, so helping them out. And on the Saturday, the young kids raced in the regional races, Gippsland Centre and things like that. So I thought I'll go and do a bit of coaching with them, help them out on the Saturday. And then I thought, well, I'm 35 now, so let's race in the vets class, which was 35 and over. I'll race in that, and then I can help them out as well. Well, the only problem with that was, because I was number 2 in Victoria in A grade, all the vets guys kicked up a stink and said, he can't race in here because he's number 2 in Victoria. I'm like, yeah, but I'm 35 and I've waited 35 years to get in this class.
Yeah.
So
you've earned your place.
I want to race. And then they said, no, you can't race and it's not fair. So then they brought in a rule that you had to have a kid to race in the Saturday vets class.
You're like, right.
So, of course, I didn't have any kids, so put a stop to that one. So, and then the A-grade guys were getting shitty because I was getting practice on the Saturday doing vets races, and then they said it's not fair because he's getting practice for the Sunday races in A-grade, and I'm like, I'm 35, you guys are 20,
yeah.
So give me a break,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, so you said where are we up to here? So you were racing in the vets, and then did you get some sponsorship? Is that what happened?
Yeah. So I had that year when I was 35, I had a bike from Mornington Honda that they supplied to me for the year, and then. So instead of doing the Saturday vets, I started doing some Sunday vets, which they seemed to be happy enough with that I could do that. And in the Victorian titles, I got cleaned up in the first corner, 3 race meetings in a row. Someone just T-boned me. I don't know what they were thinking, but...
Might have been a bit of politics behind that.
They did not back off one bit, and they hit me like that hard that it like threw me off the bike. I got knocked out
wow.
pretty badly 3 race meetings in a row. The last one was the guy actually landed on my head. He knocked me off and then landed on my head, and my chin strap got caught around his foot peg.
Oof.
And he dragged me, down the track sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was fully unconscious. And I decided then, I was like, you know what, this is just getting a bit much. So
Yeah, a bit dangerous.
yeah, I thought it's time to give it away, which my wife was pretty happy about. And so I thought, I was taking the bike back to Honda, Mornington Honda, and on the way back from there, a good mate of mine rang me up, and he had pit bikes. And he's like, oh, hey, how you going? I hadn't heard from him for years. And he goes, hey, how you going? I said, yeah, good. And he goes, what are you doing? And I said, I'm just taking my bike back. I'm retiring from motocross. And he goes, oh, do you want to race these pit bikes for me? And I'm like, what are they?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know what a
Yeah.
pit bike was. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm like-
guess depending on where you're from in terms of...
Yeah, well, this is the
there we
pit
go.
bike.
Is that what
This
these
is
are?
the pit bike racing here. So
They're smaller.
They're
They're
small
smaller than a
bikes.
normal
They're
motocross
really
bike.
small bikes.
Yeah.
4-stroke. They go pretty good.
They go
but-
well, yeah. And what's the appeal? Like, is that just because the speed that they get? Because they're like the same CC but smaller bike?
They're really, really hard to ride
Oh.
because they're so small, and because you're a little bit bigger on them. And if you weight one side or the other, they spear off in directions on you really quickly. So he said to me, look, take a bike home, because I had 20 acres at home. Take a bike home, have a ride on it, see what you think. And I'm like, I don't know about these things.
Is that you actually riding on
Yeah,
one of these? Okay,
that's-
this is you, yep.
That's actually at Las Vegas in America, in an indoor supercross. That's the world championships.
So he obviously
for-
changed his mind, didn't he?
I
right?
changed my mind
What
pretty-
changed your mind? What made you go there?
And I didn't want it to beat me. I started riding it, and I was having a lot of trouble riding it, and I just couldn't really get it properly. And I went, you know what? I'm gonna build some jumps at home, and I'm gonna start practicing, and I'm gonna get better at it. And then I started winning a few races in Australia on them, in Australian titles and stuff they had for it. And then I had the opportunity to go to Las Vegas for the World Minis. One of the sponsors I had at the time, he organised a bike in America for me to go over there. So yeah, I took some parts over there and stuff, and then and that was the first year, 2010, that I did it, and I won the heat race, and there was actually, to qualify for that, there was 60 riders in the over 35 class. So you had to qualify into it with times and stuff. So that's me in front there actually in the heat race. Yeah. So I won the heat race, and then I won the final. So I won the world championship in pit bike racing. So
There you go.
yeah.
I'd never even heard of pit bikes before
I
tonight.
hadn't
so-
heard of them either, and I'm like,
No.
yeah, I don't know about these things. Like, they're like a kid's bike.
Yeah,
But-
that's what it would sort of.
Yeah.
That's what. But are they? So you said they're quite difficult to ride, though. But obviously, there's not as big a jumps and things like that you were doing on the other type of motocross.
Yeah,
But-
although I did race some Australian motocross races where we raced on full-size tracks that had 75-foot tabletops that I was jumping on
Yeah,
it.
wow.
So yeah,
So
they still can do it.
They still can do
Yeah,
it, and
yeah.
you've done it. You've done it.
yeah.
And then the pit bike racing that stopped, was that from that side of it, from the competition side, or
Yeah, in America
that-
that stopped. It just lost. People just weren't doing it anymore, and
Yep.
and then in Australia the same thing. It just disappeared, and I thought, well, maybe I should get back into full-size bike racing again.
yeah,
So because I didn't want to stop racing, and then there was no racing for the pit bikes anymore.
and it's
So
never picked back up again, the pit bikes, or it's
not
still,
really, no, really just died off.
Yep.
So then I bought a second-hand 254 stroke and thought I'll get back into racing motocross again. And by that time I was in 40 and over vets, which they were happy to let me race in by that time. So that was good. So then, I got a 250 four-stroke, and I went in the vets class, which was dominantly 450s. And I won the first year Victorian Championships on that, and then got picked up by Peter Stevens, and then that was pretty good because they started giving me bikes and stuff, which
makes a huge difference.
Yeah, which makes a massive difference. So, and then with Peter Stevens and the 450, I got to race, plenty of races around Australia again with some Australian championships and stuff like that. And the Victorian Championships, I think I won, 4 years in a row on the 40 and over class. So I still loved it, still wanted to keep going, just didn't want to stop.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's and it's so exciting when a sponsor takes note and sees you, and like I said, the financial aspect of it, but to even be a brand like Peter Stevens is obviously, it must have been a great feeling as well, because we all know them, so.
Yeah, I mean, luckily enough, there was a couple of guys in Peter Stevens that I raced mini bikes with, so I grew up with them, and when I got back into racing motocross, that's when they said, do you want to come and ride for us? We'll give you a bike and all the rest of it. And I said, hell yeah. You're going to give me a bike, I'm there. If it's for free, it's for me.
Yeah.
I jumped on board and, never looked back. I think I raced for them for like 8 years or something like that, which then took me to America again for the World Motocross Championships, Vet Championships at Glen Helen in California. It was actually Stephen Andrews, a Geelong boy, who'd been over there a few times, and he said to me, are you going to go over and race the World Vets at Glen Helen in America? And I'm like, I don't know anything about it, never heard of it. And he goes, yeah, you come over, it's really good, I go over there and everything. Oh, okay, so, and I said, well, I'm not going to be able to take a bike over there, I haven't got the money to buy a bike over there, so that's just not going to happen. And he goes, Stephen Butler? And I said, yeah, I raced Stephen Butler. I raced mini bikes with him when I was 14. Yeah. That's a long, long time ago. Like, that guy wouldn't remember who I am. And he said, yeah, just message him. He's the head guy in Yamaha America. He'll give you a bike and all that. I said, yeah, he probably won't. But anyway, I suppose I can give it a try. You can only say no. So I messaged him and he goes, yeah, I remember who you are and all that. I'll give you a bike. And I'm like, okay.
You don't ask, you don't know, do you?
Yeah, and then I said to my wife, I said, the guy in America has just said he'll give me a bike to race the World Vets, and it's in 2 weeks. And so I said, I think I'm going to America. She said, well, you're going to have to go. If he said he's going to give you a bike, you better go. So I had no passport. So
wow.
I had 2 weeks to get a passport. Had to get a credit card because it was going to cost about $6,000 to do the 2 weeks over there. So got a credit card, got the passport. The day I was going to leave to go, just turned up. So
down to the wire.
Oh yeah,
you love living on the edge.
Yeah. So I organised hiring a van over there, and then I had the bike there. So I flew over. I had no accommodation, didn't know what I was going to do. So I got over there, jumped in the van, went to Yamaha, met Steve, picked up the bike, and then went to, I had never been to America, so I had no idea where I was going. I was on the wrong side of the road, doing everything. I'm just like, this place is crazy. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm doing. And so I went to I thought, I'll go to the track, near where the track is in San Bernardino, California. So I'll go over there and I'll just work it out from there. So, of course, I had to go somewhere where I had Wi-Fi. So, of course, we'll have to go into Macca's to get Wi-Fi. Yeah. So I go into Macca's to get Wi-Fi. And I'm looking up accommodation everywhere and I'm thinking, I don't know where to go. And I'm thinking, I'll just go to this place. And a female policewoman walks in, and I thought, well, she'd be a good person to ask. So I'm like, excuse me, do you know anywhere, accommodation around here that would be half reasonable and all that? And she said, do not stay anywhere around here. Do not stay here. There's anywhere but here. Go half an hour that way, but do not stay here. It is not a good place.
Yeah.
Okay, note taken.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's good advice in America. Now, we've only got so long in each of their segments, and I could talk to you all night about this, but so after that, how did you go while you were over there?
So, yeah, again, I didn't know anyone over there. I met lots of people when I was there, but I didn't know anyone over there and everything else. So I thought the best thing to do is there was a race at Glen Helen the weekend before the World Championship. So that if I go there, at least I'll get to know the track, get some races in, see how we go. So I went in, I was 45, it's 45 then. So I went in the 45 to 50 class, and they have like expert, what would it be, 3 classes, so like your A, B and C grade. So I just went in the expert class, which was like the A grade class. So I thought I'll just go in the highest one I can and see how I go. And so the practice race weekend, I won both motos. So that went really well. And then, so I was pretty happy that I was going to go all right in the world one. So then when we got to the World Championship the next weekend, I wasn't going to go in the 40 pro class, which was, there's guys in there that I used to look up to in motocross, Doug Duback and all these guys that I used to look in magazines and go, how good are these guys? Like, this is amazing. And I thought, you know what, I'm here. I may as well give it a shot.
Yep. And
so I'm on the start line, and I'm with Ron Lejeune, Doug Duback, all on the line, and I'm just like, this is really, it's not real, surely.
It's a real moment. You've got to pinch
like,
yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, this is amazing that I'm with these guys, and I'm on the start line with them. And anyway, I ended up 4th in that 40 pro class, in that class. And then I didn't really go for that class, but I thought I'd give it a crack anyway. And my class that I wanted to go for was obviously the 45 to 50 class. And I raced that the next day in the World Championship and ended up going 1-1 in that. So, yeah, won myself a World Championship in that one.
Well done. Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's really tough, going overseas to a different place.
Against competition that's familiar with,
like
those tracks, and you're
they
not.
all know the tracks, and I don't know if anyone here knows Glen Helen, but that track is like nothing I've ever seen. The hill there is massive. When I drove in there, I'd seen videos and stuff and watched it and thought, yeah, okay, I'm ready for it. It'll be all good, And I got there and I drove in. I just looked up and it's, holy hell, that hill is huge. And I'd never raced on anything like that before. So yeah, I just practiced as much as I could, and I put in, everything I could do. I had, new tyres all the time and everything, just to put in my best effort I could, to give myself the best opportunity to do well. And so yeah, the first year that I went there went really well. So
yeah. Now, like I said, we've got limited time for each person we've got coming up speaking. So what were some highlights since then that you've done? And are you still, you're obviously, I'm taking it you're still racing, because I don't reckon this passion's died.
Yeah, no, I actually went back to Glen Helen 3 times, and I won 3 world championships. So I won 2015, 2016, 2018. I couldn't afford to go back in 2017, but went 2018. So I won, all my motos each year. Okay. And then COVID hit, and when COVID hit, everything stopped, obviously. So I decided to, I thought I'll buy a mountain bike. I bought a cheap mountain bike, and then I sort of got a bit hooked on it. Thought
it always starts cheap, though, doesn't it?
It starts cheap, yeah. I mean,
it could be cheaper than motorbikes, but I don't think it is it?
My bike now is more expensive than a motorbike.
Told ya.
Yeah. My downhill bike now and my enduro bike, they're like 14 grand each.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And you get no motor with that. I'm like, what's the deal with that? I'd never thought I used to laugh at guys that had expensive mountain bikes.
Yeah.
And now here I am.
So this is what you're doing now?
Yeah, so now I'm racing mountain bikes. I'm actually racing tomorrow in the state championships at King Lake, downhill championships. So I got fully into it. And like everything I do, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to put 100% into it. And So yeah, it's taken me. I've won a few Victorian championships on mountain bikes now with enduro and downhill. I did this year. I got third in the national downhill championships, and went to Cairns for the world downhill championships. I got fifth there. So
Well done.
hopefully next year I'll do better.
And considering the amount of injuries you've said you've had from motocross riding, that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably say my biggest injury was motocross. I actually hit a guy in mid-flight on a 110-foot jump. I was probably 30 feet in the air, and actually he sort of crossed a little bit on me in the air, and I tapped the back of his bike and then came off. And when I came off, I hit the ground, obviously, and then busted 9 ribs, 2 punctured lungs. It was in a bit of a bad way.
Yeah,
when I went into hospital. Yeah,
it's extreme.
That was probably my worst accident, but yeah, I couldn't tell you how many crashes I've had or how many times I've been knocked out. But
yeah, especially with
it's been a
racing
lot.
so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to give it to you. Like, obviously, if we could, back in the 90s, we obviously weren't as camera happy as we are now, but you must have some amazing memories of travelling around Australia and then obviously getting overseas as well. But even just seeing Australia, I mean, if you get to travel it, we do have an amazing country here. And to do it the way you've done it yourself, funded a lot of it, and that passion just to keep driving you is a great story.
Yeah, 41 years of racing motocross is a long time. And obviously I'm still going with the mountain bikes, but it's definitely it's something that if you don't dedicate to, then obviously you're not going to do well at it. But it's a sacrifice in life, I think. If you miss a lot of things. I've missed many birthday parties, many of all sorts of things, because I'm always racing. I'm always doing something. It's like here. Can't hang around tonight because I'm off racing tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks for squeezing us in.
Yeah. All good. No problem at all.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
I'd like to thank the club too for inviting me to come and do this, because, it's very humbling to, be able to do something like this. It's not every day you get the opportunity to do something like this. So it's definitely. Very honourable to.
Yeah, your passion's definitely been recognised, and thank you to your wife as well. Like I said, you must be amazing wherever you are.
Yeah, she's disappeared. She's done a runner.
Is she going to be cheering you on there tomorrow as well? But no, thank you very much, Mike, for coming and chatting to us.
No worries.
I said, I'm sure if anyone's got any questions for Mike as well, like I said, we do have to get through everyone, otherwise we won't get out of here tonight.
Yep.
But if you want to come and have a chat to Mike, obviously he'd love to come and chat about what he's been up to and what he's up to now.
Yep.
So no.
And thanks for everyone for coming as well. I hope you enjoy the rest of the night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you. Come on. All right. Mike's going to draw out our raffle here. What prize have we got as our first one? It looks like it's Peter Stevens as well. And Fox Racing.
So Mike has really generously donated a race jersey for us tonight. If we could just have a little bit of quiet, please.
Hey guys, we're just going to draw the raffle. Can we get everyone to just quieten down, please?
So if there's any OG Mike Reefman fans in the crowd, or maybe some new ones who might like to bid on this jersey tonight, we're going to have a quick little auction. How much to start me for a genuine Mike Reefman jersey? Where do we start? 20 bucks. I'll take your 20 bucks. Anybody got 30? 30 from Mike, genuine Mike Reefman. For 30 bucks, he might even sign it for you. We'll take your 30. Thank you very much. 30, 40, anyone? Come on. Don't be quiet. This is your last chance. Yeah, we've got 40 down the back there. Thank you very much. Does anybody at the bar want to buy a jersey? We've got 50. Thank you very much. We're at 50. 50. I'll take 5. If it makes you happy, I'll take 5. I've got another 5 here. 55. Thank you. Going. Anybody down the back there? I'll take your 60. Thanks for jumping in. Great job.
Did we hear someone down the back?
We got $100. A great bid. Thank you very much. And you're going to enjoy this jersey. It's going to look great in the man cave. For $100, I'm sure you'll sign it. Any advances? Going. 110, thank you. Call out those bids. I can't hear you from up here. We're at 110. That's a great bid. Thank you very much. 110. We're going to go. Sold. Thank you very much for $110.
We need to ply you guys with a bit more drinks from the bar.
And we're just going to get Mike to drag a couple of raffle tickets out here. We're going to do 3. Orange, we've got a red ticket B, number 1. Pole position B01. Bingo, come on up and we'll get you your prize. Ticket number 2, raffle number 2 is a green ticket, number C for Caparossi. Number 13, unlucky for some, 13, green C13. Bingo, we got you, great job, come on up. And we've got one more to go here. This is a great number, B34, Kevin Swans. Red, B34. Red, B34. Bingo, come on up, get a prize. All our raffles tonight, we have to thank lots of people, and I'll find out who that is later. We have to thank Migamag for a prize later on. If you like welding, get on to Migamag. Geelong Power Sports, BMW Motorrad Geelong, the Motorcycle Shed for their generous donations, Cool Drive, Burson's North Geelong, the best Bursons in Geelong, the ones in North Geelong, and of course AMX have provided a lot of prizes tonight. 34. And we have one more raffle to go. Might get Sarah to pull this one out for us.
All right.
Sandra.
Okay, ticket. It's a green ticket.
Green ticket.
I'll just throw it on the floor. Green ticket, C for Charlie, 19.
Green
ticket.
C19. Green C19. Yep, bingo. You have got yourself a Mike Reapman poster that he's going to sign personally for you. And we'll frame that up for you this evening as well. Thank you very much. We've got another 5 to 10 minutes. Just grab something to drink, have a bite to eat, and we'll be back with our next guest shortly.
Done well, Sandra. Yeah, great. Yeah. Thank you. So we need to ditch these tickets, don't we?
Test. For anybody that might be interested, the footage on the screen at the moment is the World Championship Harley Davidson, who's out the back here. This bike run nearly was about 185 miles an hour and has only recently been displaced as the World Championship bike in Bonneville this year.
That is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant. Well done. Did you work out the average? 172.1. Very good. So that is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant. Well done. Did you work out the average? 172.1. Very good. So that is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant. Well done. Did you work out the average? 172.1. Very good. So that is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant. Well done. Did you work out the average? 172.1. Very good. So that is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant. Well done. Did you work out the average? 172.1. Very good. So that is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant. Well done. Did you work out the average? 172.1. Very good. So that is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant. Well done. Did you work out the average? 172.1. Very good. So that is officially the fastest naked Harley in the universe. In the known universe. Bloody brilliant.